I'm Sandy Shaw. I'm the MPP for Hamilton West, Ancaster, Dundas, and I'm also the official opposition environment critic for the province. So I appreciate the opportunity to provide context from the vantage point of the Ontario legislature. So what I see is a government that through their actions and their legislation continues to put our environment, our wetlands, our natural spaces, our greenbelt at risk. I've also watched a government with complete disregard for the rule of law when it comes to existing planning, zoning, or environmental protection laws. This government has also shown complete contempt for the role of democratically elected municipal councils, /Toronto City Council and HAP. And here in Hamilton, he issued an MZO to rezone brown lands where Century Manor is located against council wishes. This government is also no friend of protecting farmland. We know we're losing 175 acres of farmland each day. And yet, just yesterday, while the world is gathered in Scotland to address climate emergency, on this side of the ocean, Ford announced the Bradford Bypass, a 6-lane Holland Marsh Highway through the agricultural lands and the Greenbelt, all being bankrolled by provincial taxpayers. So this is the province's 1950s mindset and says a lot about growth, the growth framework that is being imposed on communities. Not the least of which is say that it does not address climate change or, in fact, Indigenous sovereignty or the right to consult Indigenous communities. We know Hamilton will need more housing as our city grows, but that does not mean paving over farmland and green space. We're hearing from so many residents, planners who are sharing their expertise and ideas, and I support their vision of a sustainable future. We need to accelerate the construction of new homes on ample land already within existing urban boundaries, and we need to align this with Hamilton's upcoming transit investments. We must have a better understanding of homes that people want. COVID has changed the way we live and work, and it seems foolhardy to predict housing and employment lands 30 years into the future. We know that increasingly young people, retirees, are looking for homes in existing urban areas close to work, health services, and public transit. But it's not just homes that people want. We have to address homes that people can't afford. So it's critical that we make sure there are affordable options like duplexes and townhouses. And I have to note that there's absolutely no guarantee or evidence that just building houses on farmland will make housing more affordable. You know, given the homelessness crisis that our city is facing, it needs to be said that this growth plan does absolutely nothing to provide answers or resources that we need to address this crisis. I'd also like to say it's important to note that the Ford government is relying on politically driven growth projections to make the case for urban boundary expansion. As official opposition, we wrote to the Auditor General expressing concern with those growth projections, and she has confirmed that her office is conducting an audit of Ontario's growth planning policies. However, the Ford government continues to push forward with these questionable growth projections that we know will result in the loss of farmland, that will result in a legacy of higher property taxes to pay for infrastructure servicing, and developers have, once the developers have moved on. And most certainly, and I would suggest probably the whole point of the exercise, this would result in unfair windfalls to land speculators and PC-connected developers. Our provincial government should be working in the best long-term interest of the public, not private interests. Hamilton's housing future shouldn't be determined by coercion, manipulation, or bullying. It's not how we build cities. So let me end by saying to City Council how much I admire the courage that you've shown so far. Your decision to engage your residents and to take the necessary time to make this important decision is being noticed by councils across Ontario, believe me. And I encourage council to continue to listen to the strong voice of Hamiltonians who know that sustainable growth within this great city's existing urban boundaries is possible. Thank you so much for your time today.